Hi everyone, and welcome to this full body Pilates class. It's so nice that we can practice in the comfort of our own homes, and today is going to be a good strengthening class. So when you're ready, I want you to come down onto your mat. We're going to start in a shell stretch, so bring your feet together, knees come apart, and then I want you to lower down into a nice shell stretch. We're going to come into thread the needle, so take your left arm, thread it through underneath your right arm, and then look up to the sky. Really twist. So we're twisting through the spine here, opening up that left shoulder blade, and then bring it back to center. We're going to do that on the other side. So take the right arm through underneath the left. Look up towards the ceiling, really twisting, waking up that spine for today's class, and then bring it back to center. Perfect. Stretch your arms out long. We're going to ripple forward now. Coming into extension, dropping the hips, looking up, looking straight ahead, feeling a nice opening in the hip flexors, in the abs. Make sure that your elbows have a slight bend, and then we're going to arch our back. Going back into our shell stretch, flexing over our legs. So let's ripple forward again. And then extend the spine, press back. So exhale to ripple forward. Inhale to press back to your shell stretch. So this is a really good wake up for the spine. Some good spinal mobility. Also some shoulder mobility here. Well done. Let's do another 2. Feeling that flexion and extension of the spine. And then go back again. Let's do one more ripple forward. Flexing the spine, arching the spine, look straight ahead. Take your glutes back, sit over your legs. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to come forward again and press up to a pike. I want you to just pedal out your heels here, waking up the hamstrings for today's class. We're going to come into a hip opening stretch. So extend that right leg up to the ceiling, bend that knee, open up the hip to the side of the room, and then bring it back to center. Bring it through between your hands, coming into a lunge. You can drop that knee down to the mat and tuck the toes. Now I just want you to feel a nice hip flexor stretch here. In your left hip flexor, you can come up. A nice deep stretch, opening up the hips. And then we're going to press back, flexing our right foot and folding over, coming into a hamstring stretch. Perfect. Take a nice big deep breath here, feeling the stretch, and then come forward again. What I want you to do now is tuck your toes underneath. We're going to bring that knee in a little bit closer. And then we're going to draw the inner thighs together and lift up into a lunge. So we're going to come into our lunge series now. On your inhale, you're going to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. You're moving up and down like an elevator, lengthening through the crown of your head. Excuse me. Okay, let's go for another 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. When we lift up, we're going to shift forward and then shift back down. So exhale as you lift up and shift forward, keeping a straight spine. Inhale as you lower back down, moving those arms back, getting into those triceps. You should be feeling really warm in your body now. And then we're going to burn it out. Don't you worry. Okay. Come back down. Hold low. And then step that left foot in and step it back out. Whew, this is intense. But stay with me. We're nearly there. Okay. Let's go for another 4. My right glute is burning. Yours should be too. Press through the heel. Okay, step it back, hold, and then open up the right arm to the side. Look towards your hand, bring it back towards center. Open it up again, back towards center. My legs are going to fall off. Last one. Okay, take the knee down, untuck the toes, bring the hands down, and then we're going to press up to our pike again. Pedal out those heels, taking a nice big deep breath here. That was hard work, and we still have to do it on the other side. Just letting you know. Okay, let the breath come down a bit. We're going to shift forward into a plank before we go to our other side. Now, make sure your body is in one straight long line. Your glutes are engaged, your core is engaged. And now I want you to shift your glutes back, bending your legs, and then come forward again. So the core stays engaged the whole time. We're definitely waking up the core here. Exhale as you shift forward into your plank. Keep low. So you don't want to be piking your hips up. You want to keep a nice, straight, long spine. Let's do another 2. Waking up the shoulders here. Last one. Press back to your pike. Pedal out your heels. Take a deep breath. This class is already intense and we've only just started. Okay, I want you to extend that left leg towards the ceiling now. Bend that leg, open up the hip. Come back to center. Bring it through between your hands. Lower that back knee and tuck the toes. Okay, now I want you to just shift forward, feeling a nice stretch in the right hip flexor here. You can come up if you can find your balance. Just feeling that nice opening here. And then shift back, flexing that left foot, folding over that leg, coming into your hamstring stretch. You're doing so well. I'm already out of breath. Okay. Shift forward again. We're going to tuck those toes underneath us. Bring that leg a little bit more in, that knee. And then we're going to lift up. And then lift all the way up. Coming into our lunge. So inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Really feel the weight in your left heel. Okay, moving up and down like an elevator. If you need to bring that back leg in a little bit, you can. Okay, last one, hold down here and then shift forward. Bringing those arms back, then back down. Exhale, shift forward. Inhale, shift back down. Okay, you're doing so well. Core is engaged, belly button to spine. Okay, we're almost there. Let's do another 3. Feeling it in the left glute. 2, 1. Hold it low. Step in a little, then step back out. Woo! Left leg is burning. Stay with me. After this, we're just going to be doing some mat work. So this is really where we get our heart rate up during the class. Okay, last one. Step back, hold low. Open up the left arm to the side. Circle it back in. Open up, inhale, exhale, circle it back in. One more. Back to center. Lower that knee down. Untuck the toes. Bring the hands down. Press back to a pike. Pedal out those heels. Taking a nice deep breath. Letting your heart rate come down a bit. It just shows you don't need to do intense, high impact stuff to get your heart rate up. Pilates can make you sweat. Okay. Just pedaling out here. And then we're going to shift forward, bringing our right knee in towards our chest. And then shift back, coming back into our pike. Pressing through, opening up the chest. Bring the left leg in, knee in towards the chest. And we're going to alternate each time. From our plank to our pike. Crunching in the center. As you bring that knee in. Inhaling as you send your glutes back up to the ceiling into your pike. Stay with me. Your shoulders should be awake. Nice and warm. We're going to come into a bit more shoulder work. Okay, come into your pike. I want you to lower down onto your forearms now. You can bring your hands together and then press your chest through your arms. We're going to come into a dolphin press now. So I want you to bring your nose towards your thumbs and then press back to your pike. Inhale, bring your nose towards your thumbs. Exhale, press back to your pike. And you'll definitely feel this in your shoulders. Follow your breath. You're doing so well. The whole body is working really hard. Let's do one more. Lower the knees down. Press back to a shell stretch. Just taking a moment here. Whew. I'm not gonna lie. The sweat is pouring down my face right now. Okay, take a nice release here. Nice deep breath. And then we're just going to finish off the arms with some push-ups. So you can come down into a half plank if this feels comfortable for you. You can do it on your knees and lower down and press up if you want to take that modification. But otherwise, join me in a half plank and we're just going to lower down, press back up. Keeping those elbows in towards the body. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press back up. Spine straight. Core engaged. Keep that core tight. Let's do another 3, 2, 1. Press back to a shell. Stretch out those arms. Taking a nice deep breath here. Woo! Okay. So we've worked the legs and the glutes, and we worked the arms and the shoulders, and also the core. But now we're going to come down onto our mats. Woo. I'm sweaty, so come down into the middle of your mat. We're going to get into the glutes some more. So I want you to roll down carefully onto your back. Whew. Just take a moment here, bring your heels in towards your glutes, setting yourself up. Okay, we're going to come into some glute bridges now. So on your exhale, I want you to lift your hips up to the ceiling. Inhale, lower back down. Pressing through the heels. I want you to make sure that when you come up, you're not arching in the back and flaring through the ribs. You want to keep that rib to hip connection, so those ribs draw down towards the hips so that we don't injure the lower back and that we're also working the core. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. On our last one now, we're going to hold up. Now we're going to just do some walkout. So we're going to walk out with the right leg and then walk out with the left leg on your heels. Bring it back in and then alternate the leading leg. So you will feel this in your hamstrings and your glutes, which is good because we also need to work the hamstrings. Okay, perfect. You're doing so well. Keep those glutes up as high as you can, keeping that core engaged. Hands are pressed into the mat. Okay, we're going to extend that right leg, dip the hips, exhale, lift, bring that right leg back in, and then we're going to alternate. Extend the left leg, dip, lift it, bring it back to center. So this is kind of like a single leg glute bridge, but we're really getting into the hamstrings as well. So I want you to push into that extended leg, into the heel of that extended leg. Make sure your hips are square here, so you're not dipping the hips. When you extend that leg like that, the hips are staying square to the ceiling, and then you're dipping and lifting. So everything's square and stable. Okay, dip, lift. Let's do one more. Dip and lift. Okay, you can lower all the way down now. Take that, okay, let's take the left leg first, over the right. So we're coming into a single leg glute bridge. Make sure your hips are square here when you lift. I like to feel my hips to make sure that they're square. So you're going to exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Pressing through that right heel so that you feel it in the hamstring and in the glute. Let's do another 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up here just for a second and then lower it back down. Okay, let's take the right leg over the left now. We're going to do the same thing. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So the weight is in that left heel and the hips are square. So make sure that you are not wobbling in the hips. They're square towards the ceiling. Core's engaged. Rib to hip connection. Okay. Last one, hold it up and then lower back down. Okay, from here, we're going to come into some abs. So I want you to take your hands behind your head. Just set yourself up, hands behind your head, and then you're going to take opposite elbow to opposite knee, lifting up and over. So look just past that leg so that you're really lifting up and over, getting into those obliques. Also think of bringing that armpit to that knee rather than the elbow. Exhale as you lift up and over. Really feel that slow and controlled movement. Okay. Let's do one more here. Lift that left leg up, coming into a tabletop position, and then extend that left leg. What I want you to make sure now is that you are pressing that lower back into the mat. So don't extend your leg too low that your back comes up. It depends on how strong your core is. So you're going to exhale, bring it in, armpit to knee, inhale, extend, lower back down. Perfect. You're doing so well. Working the lower, the upper, and the obliques here. The lower abs, the upper abs, and the obliques. Keep that belly button to spine. You don't want to be popping in the abs. You want to maintain that pressure in your abs. Okay. Bring it back in. Come to center And then you're just going to tap that left foot to the mat, lift it back up. So really lift up here. So you're not straining the neck. Your gaze is towards your legs. Exhale as you lift it back up. Use your breath to lift it back up and your core. That mind to muscle connection. Lifting up the upper back slightly off the mat. Perfect. Last one. Bend the legs and we're going to come into our bicycles. So coming into our crisscross. Burn it out here. Lower back stays flat into the mat. Okay. Last one. Bring it in, hug it in. Take a nice big deep breath. Just a moment here. And we're going to do that all on the other side. Okay. So I want you to cross your left leg over your right now. Bring your hands behind your head. And then we're just going to lift up and over. Exhale to twist. Bringing that armpit towards that knee. Really lifting up and twisting. Getting into those obliques. Into the upper abs. Okay. Let's do another 3. 2. 1. Perfect. Lift that right leg to tabletop. Extend it. And then we're going to bring it in. Twisting. Armpit to knee. Working the lower and upper abs and the obliques. If your abs weren't burning before, they definitely will be now. Let's do another 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center. Lift up. Lift the chest up. And then we're just going to tap that right foot to the floor. Lift it back up. Exhale as you lift it back up. Really work that core and those hip flexors. Bring that belly button to spine. Lifting up. Gaze towards your legs. Okay, release that left leg, coming into our crisscross, our bicycles again. Really burning it out. Last 2. Perfect. I want you to now extend your legs towards the ceiling. You can take your hands behind your head. And then to finish off the abs, we're going to lift up and reach for our toes. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up and reach. So really try and reach, crunching in the upper abs. Keeping those legs as straight as possible. If you can't straighten them all the way, that's fine. They can be a little bit bent, depending on how tight your hamstrings are. Let's do another 2. Last one. Lower it down. Hug it in. So we worked everything. We worked the obliques, the upper abs, and the lower abs. Okay, I want you to bring your feet down to the mat, and then we're just going to lift up, using our legs to lift ourselves up. Take your hands behind you, extend your legs. We're just going to stretch the abs now. So lift your glutes up, your hips up towards the ceiling, coming into a reverse plank. And then we're just going to shift from side to side, feeling a release in the abs. You did so well. That was hard. Okay. And while we're here, let's just do some dips with the arms to keep those glutes up. Little dips, little pulses, getting into those triceps. Perfect. Lower the hips down, and then fold forward. Taking a nice deep breath here. Just calming the breath down a bit before we go into our sideline work. Okay. Releasing that lower back, stretching through the hamstrings. Okay. Roll back up vertebra by vertebra. And then we're going to come into our sideline series. So I want you to come down onto your forearm. Bottom leg bent in a 45-degree angle. And then your top leg is going to be extended. I want you to make sure that your hips are square to the front of the room, that they don't move as you lift your leg. So you're going to exhale to lift that leg, inhale to lower. And you'll notice that you can't get very high here. That's because you're not opening up your hip. So your hips are staying square. You're using that core is engaged. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Okay, let's go for another 2. Last one, hold it up, and then we're going to tap forward, tap back, coming into our rainbows. So make sure you're pressing up out of your shoulder, out of your side waist. Your upper body is still. You're just moving that leg inside the hip. The hips are as still as possible. Okay, let's do another 2. Last one. Bring it back to center, and then we're just going to circle. So circle up and around. Inhale for half the circle. Exhale for the other half. Last one in this direction. And then we're going to change the direction. Lifting up out of that shoulder, out of that side waist. Making sure that you're creating length through that leg. Your obliques are working. Last one here. Perfect. Extend that leg. Keep it about hip height. Bring that left hand down to the mat, and we're going to come into a push-up. So you're going to lower down and then exhale, lift. You'll notice you won't get very high because your leg is extended, but you'll feel this mainly in your right arm. In the obliques as well, which is really good. Okay, let's go for another 3, 2, really point through that foot. 1, perfect. Lower that foot down. Lift up, extending that arm. We're now going to stagger the feet. We're going to come into our side bend. So staggering the feet. Arm is just further out than the shoulder. See, how do I want this? No, like this. Okay. And then rest your hand, palm up on your legs. And we're just going to lift up and over, lifting the hips up to the ceiling, and then lower back down. Exhale, lift, reaching the hips up. Inhale, lower. If you need to adjust your arm, you can. Lower back down. Let's do one more. Creating that length, and then lower back down. Okay, perfect. Bring that right leg in front of the left leg bent behind you. Reach up and over, stretching up the side waist. And then flex over the other side. Just releasing here. Okay, before we come into doing our sideline work on the other side, I want you to come down into a prone position. We're going to come into some swimming. So make sure I have enough space here. Extend your arms and your legs. And of course, I don't have enough space, but we're going to pretend I do. I'm just going to take this mic off so it's in front of me here. So we're just going to lift opposite, lifting up our chest, looking down towards the mat, lift your opposite arm and leg, and then lower back down. And then we do that on the other side. So really creating length through the body, working the glutes, working the back. Perfect. And hopefully you have more room to do this than I do. Gaze towards the mat, belly button towards the spine. Okay, let's go for another 2. Last one. Lower it down and then press back to a shelf stretch. Let me take my mic back. Pin it. Sorry for any interference there. Take a nice shelf stretch. And then we get to do the sideline work on the other side again. Okay, so you know what to do this time. So we can move a bit faster through this. Bottom leg bent in a 45-degree angle. Top leg extended. Really extend that leg out the hip, lifting up through the side waist, out of that shoulder. Hips are square, and you're just going to lift and lower. So I want you to exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Doing so well, keeping those hips squared to the front of the room. Let's go for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up, tap forward, tap back. Coming into our rainbows. So exhale as you lift up and over. Inhale as you tap it down. Keeping the upper body stable. The hips are stable. If you need to feel your hips here, you can. Okay, perfect. Bring it up to center, and then we're going to circle it forward, up and around. So inhale for half the circle, exhale for the other half. You can bring your hand down towards the mat for stability. The last one in this direction, and then we're going to change the direction. Take it back, up and around. Try and make those circles as perfect as you can without losing your form. Okay, extend that leg long, in line with the hip. Bring that left hand down, and then we're going to come into our push-up. So lower down, lift up. And you'll feel this more in your left arm because there's more weight in there. So exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keeping that leg extended, pointing through that foot, creating that length. Last 2. Feeling this in the obliques. Last one. Drop that leg. We're going to come into our side bend now. So extend that bottom leg. Bring the hand on top. Make sure your hand is a little bit further than your shoulder. Palm facing up, and then we're going to exhale, lift up and over, lifting that hip towards the ceiling, feeling the crunch in the obliques, and then lower back down. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. If this is too hard for you, you can do it on your knees, like this. Otherwise, stay with me. Last one. Lower back down. Bring that left leg in front, right leg behind. Lift up and over, stretching out the side waist. We work the obliques on both sides. Okay. Come back up to the other side. Nice lateral flexion of the spine. Okay. Release that. We're going to come into a prone position again. So I'm going to release my mic so that there's no interference. Okay. I want you to now bring your hands by your shoulders, and you can bring your forehead down to the mat. On your inhale, you're going to lift your arms and your head, your hands and your head, and look slightly forward to the front of your mat. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. So the arms lifting creates that extra weight in your back. More resistance. You're doing so well. Let's do another 4, 3, neck in line with the spine, 2, last one, hold it up here. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. And we're not finished here yet. We're going to come into some leg extension. So you can rest your forehead on the mat, or you can rest your forehead on your hands, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And then we're just going to lift and extend those legs, lifting from the glute and then lowering. So exhale, lift from that glute, inhale, lower. Pressing that pubic bone into the mat, those hips into the mat. Okay, you should feel this in the glutes. I don't want any bending at the knees. So this is glute work. If your hamstrings are a bit tight, that's okay. But just try and get that mind to muscle so that you feel it in the glutes. Let's do another 2. Last one. Hold it up here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Really squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it back down. Take a nice big deep breath. And then we're going to press back to our shell. I'm just taking my mic again, placing it back on. Sorry for any interference there. So just taking a nice shell stretch. Calming down the nervous system after today's class. We can come into a nice stretch now. Feeling a nice stretch in the shoulders, in the lower back here, in the glutes. Okay, rolling up vertebra by vertebra to seated. You're going to come down onto your glutes. Roll down safely, vertebra by vertebra. Extend your legs long. I want you to bring that left knee in towards your chest. Stretching out the glute here. Feel free to rock that leg in the hip joint. And then we're going to take that left leg over towards the right. Extend that left arm long. Look towards that left arm, feeling a nice twist in the spine. I just felt a nice crack in my spine when I did this, so that felt good. Okay. Bring it back to center. Extend that left leg. Coming into a nice hamstring stretch from all the glute and the hamstring work we did today. Flex and point that foot. Feeling a nice stretch here. Okay. Circle the ankle in one direction and then take it in the other direction. Perfect. Bring that left leg over the right, coming into a figure 4 stretch. Bring the knee in towards the chest and push that left knee out. So you're feeling a nice glute stretch. Flex those feet. That was a tough class. You did so well. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. You'll definitely see and feel the benefits the more consistent you are and the more you do my classes, because that is my goal at the end of the day, is to make you stronger. Okay, release that. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Just circle it, rock it side to side, inside the hip socket. Then take it over towards the left. Extend that right arm out. Look towards that right hand. Feeling a nice twist in the spine. Bring it back to center. Extend that right leg. Point and flex. Feeling a nice stretch in that hamstring, getting into some ankle mobility, which is so important if you want to get stronger. Mobility is important. Range of movement is important so that you can get stronger without creating injuries. And then circle that foot around that ankle in the other direction. Perfect. Lower that leg down, bring that left leg over the right and hug that knee in. Push that right knee out so that you're feeling a nice stretch in the glute. Nice deep breath. Perfect. And then when you're ready, release that. Rock up to seated. And my makeup has smudged everywhere. My hair is a mess. That was an intense class. You know that was an intense class if your makeup runs down your face, but here we are. So take that right arm up and over, coming into some nice lateral flexion. Look towards the ceiling, opening up the chest. Release that. Take the left arm up and over. Come back to center. And that's it for today's class. If you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. It supports my channel a lot. And leave me a comment and let me know how much stronger you feel. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.